What's up, everybody? This is the Bro Stranger here, and today we're talking about the death of a Transformers Fangame. Well, potentially. I covered this game in my top 10 Transformers fan projects, and I said it had a lot of potential. I was hoping that they made some much needed changes to the game, and some of the changes have actually come to pass since I made that video. Some of the devs also commented on that video saying that they were good ideas, so I'm not going to immediately take credit that, oh, they added this because I said so. Just more, they're really good at taking community feedback and listening to the fans and adding in good changes. But unfortunately, Hasbro have DMCA'd them. Well, could Transformers Crossfire possibly come back? What is the future of the game? And why potentially Hasbro DMCA'd them, and how Transformers fan creators can avoid it in the future. First of all, what is Transformers Crossfire? Transformers Crossfire is a third-person shooter where it has vehicle mode and robot mode combat. You play as a bunch of the characters from Bayverse. You can play as all your favorites that showed up in the live-action Michael Bay movies, or you can play as characters that were only in the IDW tie-in comics like for us. As well, you can play as characters like Springer, who was gonna be in the movie but got scrapped. So honestly, the potential for adding characters to this was limitless. Why did Hasbro feel threatened enough to take legal action against Crossfire? As long as you're not intentionally infringing upon their IP in order to gain profit, like selling merch or making a movie and selling it for $50, usually you're pretty good. There have been some exceptions where people have kind of slid under the rug and Hasbro didn't find out about it. But other than that, they're usually pretty good about fan projects. And unfortunately, this is where Crossfire went wrong. Crossfire has a huge pay-to-win problem in my opinion. So, some characters are just statistically better than others. There's always going to be a meta to these types of games when you have characters with different weapons, skill sets, and stats. So, especially since they kind of pride themselves on being a team-based game. They have healers, tanks, so as long as they're not selling any of these characters or skins with real-life currency, then they should be good, right? Well, unfortunately for Crossfire, they do that. So essentially, a character around Jazz level or Bumblebee is about a couple hundred, which is pretty easy to get because every single kill is 25, and then you get 75 energon for winning, and I think it's around 15 for losing. That's honestly not too bad. In a few games, especially if you're slaying out, you can usually get these characters pretty quickly. Then we start to get a problem. Characters around the Ironhide level tier is about 3k. Oh, well, that's a lot, but you know, that's still not that bad. 6k for characters like Optimus and Megatron, as well as their skins, which, might I add, are the same price as unlocking the character. And the skins for Optimus, most of them are just basic palette swaps, or they removed the flames in its RoboVision Optimus, like from Transformers the game. Why am I buying a skin which removes the stupid flame decals from my character? Like, you're taking something away from the character. I like it more, but I don't like it enough to the point where I'm willing to essentially either buy a new character or buy a skin for Optimus. That's ridiculous. And then we get into some of the newer characters like Blackout and Jetfire. Blackout is 12.5k. That is double Megatron and Optimus. You could buy Megatron and Optimus, and then you still wouldn't have enough to buy Blackout. But that's not all. Then we got Jetfire. Jetfire is one of the biggest characters in the game, and he costs 15k. That is absurd. It takes so long to get this energon in order to actually get some of these characters. And not only that, you can go and buy energon with Robux, which you get, and Robux cannot be earned. It is something you have to use mommy's credit card on. This is one of the main issues with Crossfire, the fact that you get this pay-to-win system, especially if people can just put in their credit card and get them for no effort. there should be some sort of kill challenge and then maybe earn energon in order to get the skins to show you play the game more. There's no real leveling system. The progression is just getting new characters and getting new skins. But what's the point of having a progression system if someone can just buy their way to the end and just pick up the best character? And honestly, I don't really know how Roblox creators work, but they're paying real money to get Robux, they spend it on their game, and I'm assuming you get something in return, either be it real money or you get Robux that you can maybe convert to real money. I don't know, I'm not a Roblox game dev, but I don't know, something about that just seems scummy, and I think Hasbro also agrees, and that's technically making money off of their IP, because you can put money and get something Transformers, and Hasbro has no involvement in it. See, Hasbro's kind of like Sega when it comes to copyright infringement. Meanwhile, Paramount are like Nintendo, as in they will mail your severed head to your mom's mailbox because you drew a picture of Pikachu when you were 8. That kind of overprotective of their IPs. Michael Bay's company literally tried to have Gary's Mod taken down because they thought they were infringing on the Skibidi toilet rights. Hollywood's crazy, man. As well, a lot of the locations and assets look straight out of the game. I know you make a lot of them yourself. I honestly think Paramount kind of pushed Hasbro in order to do this, because Hasbro, even though it doesn't seem like it, very much still use Bayverse and make money off of the Bayverse. The movies are still being sold, those designs are still being used at attractions and rides and costumes at Universal Studio and
Are you doing the Fortnite emote?
Orlando, Florida, and Studio Series is still actively making figures of these versions of the characters. I've gotten copyright warnings from Paramount because I used a clip from Rise of the Beasts or Transformers 1. So, do they actually have a solution? Well, the Crossfire devs have gone on to say that they've sent an email to Hasbro asking if they can have some kind of partnership or if there's any way they can resolve this issue and they can keep Crossfire running, which is good. But if they're not able to, they said they're going to change the characters' names, the factions, as well as the name of the game to Steel Crossfire, and have the characters just be legally ambiguous who they're supposed to be. So you're basically just getting bootleg Dollarama Bumblebee, except it's not a Transformer, it's a change morpher, and it's not Bumblebee, it's Yellow Stinger. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. Crossfire has gained quite a following. They're at 10k members on their Discord. They used to have an active player base of at least 1,000 people playing per day, even more when YouTubers would get on. But would we all really be playing this game if it wasn't Transformers, if it was just some bootleg? I really don't think so. I can't see myself pouring any more time into this game if I'm not unlocking like Bumblebee or Optimus or Megatron or Starscream or Thundercracker, and I'm just unlocking Yellow Stinger and Megacron and Wailing Solar. I just don't think it's gonna hold people's attentions, especially Bayverse fans. I genuinely don't think people will stick around, at least not in the long run. But there is hope. Like I said, they've contacted Hasbro, and hopefully Hasbro finds it in their heart in order to keep Crossfire going, and maybe they can monetize it or something, because the fans are there, they want it, and Hasbro knows that they're not doing that well in the games division. We're still waiting on whatever Saber Interactive's making. Right now on Twitter, which I don't have Twitter, so it's kind of up to you guys, my audience, who have Twitter. They have a hashtag going in order to save Crossfire. I'm throwing it up on screen. Please be respectful, don't harass anyone, but if we could get this trending, I feel like it could go a long way in showing Hasbro that there is a dedicated community that still really want Transformers games like this. Competitive, PvP, and play as these characters in these massive scale battles. And Crossfire, if it doesn't get completely taken down, is only gonna get better and better. Hasbro could even sync it up with new toy releases like, oh, what's that? Scavenger just got released in Crossfire? Well, we're adding a Studio Series Crossfire in real life you could go buy. Anyways, I'm sure if you just tweaked it a bit, maybe change out some of the music, really apologize to Hasbro and take out the microtransactions and the pay to win, I honestly don't see why Hasbro would not lift the DMCA. Because there are many other Transformers games on Roblox that don't have any of that pay to win or pay to get Energon in order to unlock characters, and they're doing just fine. And Hasbro's partnered with Roblox games in the past. I'm sorry about the lack of videos recently, I've just been feeling so burnt out and I got a lot of stuff going on in real life. I'm trying to fill the gap where I can with streams and also the short form content. I just posted a short about why we didn't get a 3DS version of Fall of Cybertron. I think it's really interesting, and I'll be back to making regularly scheduled videos soon. There hasn't been a whole lot going on with Transformers recently, and it's kind of sad that the first thing I come back to is bad news and Hasbro DMCAing creators just trying to make a fun fan game. Hopefully we can save Crossfire together. Well, I love you guys. I know it seems like I'm kind of waterboarding on the haterade this video, but I genuinely did enjoy Crossfire. I don't really want to see it die because there's a lot of passion and talented people still working on it. I'll see you in the next video. You should add Cosmos to the game. Bye guys.